If you're between 18 and 23 and already feel like you've ruined your life, this video is for you. You scroll past 19-year-old founders, 21-year-old millionaires, perfect couples, perfect bodies, and you're thinking, I'm already late, I messed up. Here's a perspective most people never tell you. You're not late, you're actually early, but only if you understand how to use these years properly. Think of this as advice from someone a few years ahead of you, sharing the things they wish someone had explained earlier. Almost every day, someone your age posts online. I'm 19 and I already feel like I wasted my teens. I'm 21 with no job, no relationship, no idea what I'm doing. I'm 22 and it feels like everyone else is ahead of me. If any of that sounds familiar, stay for a few minutes, because this might be the first time someone breaks down what's really going on and what you can actually do about it. Here's the first thing to understand. Your 18 to 23 phase is not the finish line. It's orientation week for adult life. Millennials went through this first and called it the quarter-life crisis. Gen Z is living it on hard mode with social media, AI, and insane pressure. Feeling lost right now doesn't mean you're failing. It means you've been dropped into a new game without a proper tutorial. The goal in this stage is not to have everything figured out. The goal is to learn the controls. Think about any game you've ever played. The first hour isn't about winning championships. It's about accidentally pressing the wrong buttons, running into walls, and slowly figuring out what everything does. In real life, nobody told you this is how 18 to 23 actually works. You see other people's highlight reels and assume they skipped the awkward part. They didn't. You just didn't see it. Pause to let that sink in. Let's clear something up. Feeling confused, behind, or overwhelmed does not mean you're broken. You grew up watching thousands of people's highlight reels every single day. No brain is built for that level of comparison. So if you feel behind, that feeling is real. But it's based on a completely distorted picture of what normal looks like. Most people are not buying houses at 22, not running million-dollar companies, and not living some perfect aesthetic life every day. Most people are just trying to figure out how to pay bills, pass classes, show up to work, and still have some energy left. When you compare yourself to the loudest 1% online, it's almost guaranteed you'll feel behind. If you could see the real lives of the other 99%, you'd probably realize you're doing a lot better than you think. Think about where you are. You just moved from a world where teachers, parents, and schedules made most of the decisions, into a world where suddenly you are responsible. Of course that's scary. Of course you overthink. Of course you feel pressure. A quarter-life crisis isn't proof you failed. It's a sign you're becoming aware that your choices actually matter. What separates people who grow from people who stay stuck is not that one group never struggles. It's what they do with that struggle. Some people try to escape the feeling. They numb out with endless scrolling, gaming, drinking, or pretending not to care. Others decide, okay, this sucks, but I'm going to use it as a signal that something needs to change. Both groups feel the same emotions. The difference is that one group uses those emotions as a wake-up call instead of a life sentence. Here's a simple mental image that helps. Make your plans like Jello, not stone. If your life plan is carved in stone, the first time life hits it, it cracks. If your plan is like Jello, it wobbles, adjusts, and then settles again. You do not need a perfect 10-year blueprint. You need a flexible 3 to 6 month direction and the willingness to adjust as you learn. Here's what that looks like in real life. Maybe you pick a major, try it for a year, and realize you hate it. Instead of thinking, I wasted a year, I'm a failure, you think, cool, now I know one path that doesn't fit me. Or you take a job that isn't perfect, but it teaches you what kind of work you enjoy, what kind of manager you need, and what red flags to avoid next time. That's not a waste. That's data. In a moment, there's a simple setup for your mind and your day that can be done in under an hour. No 20 productivity apps. No complicated templates. Just a few small habits that quietly make life feel less chaotic. Before that, the first step is to take some pressure off your brain. Step 1 is a 15-minute brain dump. Open your Notes app or grab a piece of paper. Set a timer. Write down everything that's bouncing around your mind. Worries, tasks, fears, I should probably do this thoughts, school, work, money, health, family, relationships. Then, mark anything you can realistically do something about this week. If you've never done this before, it might feel weird. Your brain will try to convince you, this won't help, this is a waste of time. Do it anyway, just once, and notice how different you feel when everything is on the page instead of floating in your head. Most people carry around a constant background noise of, I should do this, I need to fix that, I can't forget this thing. This is how you turn that noise into a clear list of problems that can actually be tackled. Your brain is great at solving problems, but terrible at storing them. The moment you move chaos out of your head and onto a page, you free up mental space. Next, build a very simple life system. Rule number 1. 1 calendar, 1 to-do list, 1 notes app. That's all you need to start. Use your phone calendar for classes, shifts, and appointments. Use a basic to-do app or built-in reminders for tasks. Use Notes or Google Keep for ideas, brain dumps, and checklists. If your system takes more effort to maintain than it saves, it's too complicated. The point isn't to become a productivity machine. The point is to have just enough structure so your brain isn't in constant panic mode. For example, you could decide, calendar, only for time-based things, classes, shifts, appointments, deadlines. To-do list, small tasks you can do in 15-30 minutes. Notes, ideas, goals, and stuff you're learning. When you wake up, you don't need to reinvent your entire life from scratch. You just check your calendar and your top 3 tasks and focus on one thing at a time. Once a week, maybe Sunday evening, do a 30-minute reset. Open your calendar, your to-do list, and your notes. Ask 3 questions. What actually got done this week? What's coming up next week? What are the 3 most important things to move forward? Put those 3 things on specific days and times. Most people never pause to do this. A tiny weekly reset can quietly put you ahead of where you would be if you just reacted to everything. In the beginning, your weekly reset might feel messy. You might not know exactly what to plan or how realistic to be. That's okay. Like any skill, you'll get better at it. Give yourself a month. 4 weekly resets. If after 4 tries you don't feel at least a little more in control, you can throw this away. But most people are shocked at how different life feels when they start closing each week with intention instead of chaos. Right now, a lot of people your age are stuck in pure reaction mode, replying to messages, scrambling for deadlines, scrolling until they're numb. The moment you start making small, proactive moves, planning your week, choosing one priority, blocking 1 hour for your future, you change the entire direction of your life over time. You don't need to announce it. Just let your actions build proof. Let's quickly turn this into something you can actually do this week. Here are 3 tiny moves. Do 1 15-minute brain dump, just once. Put everything in your head onto a page and star what you can act on this week. Set up your simple system. Decide which calendar you'll use, which to-do app or notebook you'll use, and which notes app you'll use. Delete or ignore everything else for now. Schedule 1 weekly reset. Pick a day and time, even if it's only 20 minutes. Put it in your calendar like it's an appointment with yourself. Do those 3 things and you're not just thinking about changing your life anymore. You've actually started. Here's why these small steps matter so much. Your 20s are less about having everything you want, and more about building the foundation for what you want later. Every time you choose to learn instead of doom scroll, every time you send one more application or email, every time you take a walk instead of staying frozen in your thoughts, You're casting a vote for the kind of future you might have. None of these votes feel dramatic in the moment. You're not going to feel a magical transformation overnight. But that's how real change usually works. Slowly, then suddenly. One day you look back and realize, wow, I'm calmer, I'm more reliable, I'm learning, I'm not as scared of the future. It didn't happen because of one big decision. It happened because of hundreds of small, quiet decisions you barely noticed at the time. Think about your 28-year-old self. One day, that person will look back at the choices you're making now. The question is whether they'll feel abandoned or supported. You are not late. You are not the only one who feels lost. You are not the only one without a perfect plan. What happens from 18 to 23 does matter. Not because one wrong move ruins everything, but because these years teach you how you think, how you work, and what kind of life you want to build. If you're willing to make small, consistent moves for yourself, your future self may be genuinely surprised by how far you've come. None of this is about being perfect. You will still procrastinate sometimes. You will still make mistakes. You will still have days where you feel lost. That doesn't erase your progress. The point is not to become some flawless, optimized version of yourself. The point is to be just a little more intentional this year than you were last year. If this connected with you even a little, do two things. Comment one area you want to get 1% better at this month: your mind, your daily system, or your career. Subscribe, because every week there will be more honest conversations and practical tools to help you grow. No preaching, just perspective you can test for yourself. Your story is not over. You're just getting started.